Hey, geometry class. Happy Thursday. Almost done with our school week. So yesterday, a couple of you did very well. We had a perfect score, several very close to perfect. However, as a whole, we were struggling with identifying the different types of angles. So we're going to practice that some more. So we have several different angle pairs. Now, some of them, these first two, vertical angles and linear pair, hopefully you remember, those are things that we talked about before this school change. That was back in chapter 1. We talked about that way back in January. So vertical angles, remember, across the x, the top and the bottom, or the left and the right. So an example over here, vertical angles, right where I put the blue, like there and there. If we do it, so angle 1 and angle 4, that'd be an example. Another example would be angle 6, and hopefully you can fill it in, angle 7. Okay. So obviously those aren't the only two. We could also have 2 and 3, 5 and 8, but those are some of them. Okay. Now linear pair, this is when two angles are beside each other and they add up to 180. So like 1 and 2 here, that would be an example. Also you could do 1 and 3. Anytime a straight line is cut into two parts. Okay, there are tons of different linear pairs on here. So I'm only going to name one or two of them. But let's go ahead and start. We said you could also do angle 5 and angle 6. And then it doesn't really matter, but you could also do angle 5 and angle 7. Okay. The key thing there, they have to be adjacent, and they also have to add up to 180. Now remember, adjacent means they are beside each other. They share a side, and if they add up to 180, another word for that is supplementary. Okay, now, if you see over here, interior means inside. I have that label for us. So 3, 4, 5, and 6, those are the only possibilities. Alternate interior means one on each side of this transversal, but they can't be a linear pair. Okay, so there's only two examples of that. And it would be angle 3 and angle 6. Okay? And then we also would have angle 4 and angle 5. Now, I hope you guys are realizing when I'm saying these angle names, those numbers, all they mean is that's what that angle is defined as. That's like a name. Okay, the same way that some of you might have the name Luke or John. Okay, that's just how I refer to it. And by putting those marks there, you guys know which one I'm talking about. That does not mean that angle is 1 degree or that angle is 2 degrees. Okay, we don't know how big they are. And we'll talk about that more next week, how we can find that out. So the next one, consecutive, which I have in parentheses here, same side. Okay, consecutive and same side mean the same thing for us. Consecutive and same side are going to be synonyms. So consecutive interior or same side interior. So they still have to be inside of the two parallel lines. And consecutive, remember, is one after the other. Now, I don't mean like 3, 4. Those are numbers that follow each other, but it's based on, are they on the same side of the transversal? So for us, it'd be angle 3 and angle 5. And then our other example would be angle 4 and angle 6. Okay. Now our next one, alternate exterior. For this one, exterior means they're on the outside. So it has to be completely on the outside. There's going to be one from the top, one from the bottom. If it was turned on its side like this, then there's going to be one on the left, one on the right. Okay. So alternate exterior would have angle 1, and that would match up with angle 8. 1 is on the left side of the transversal, 8 is on the right side. Okay, then the other one would be angle 2 and angle 7. Okay, the final one, corresponding. Okay, for this one, it's compared to the intersection, it's in the same location. Okay, just like my shoes were corresponding, they match up, they're from the same pair. In the same way, angle 1 here is up to the left. It goes with 5 because that is also up to the left. So angle 1 and angle 5. And another example, angle 2 is up to the right, and angle 6 is also up to the right. Then angle 3 is down to the left, and angle 7 is also down to the left. And our final one, hopefully you know it, angle 4 and angle 8. So that's how we do it. We're going to do the same thing up here. We have another picture for us. The only difference this time is that there's a few, or the numbers are kind of in a different order. I just mixed them up, okay? But we got our transversal line A here, then line B and C are the parallel lines. So for this one, we're only going to come up with 1 for each of these, okay? It's the same rules. If you need more help, rewind the video and you can watch it again. If you want to practice, pause the video right now and give it a try, okay? But vertical angles, we're going to do, we're just choosing one example. So angle 6 and angle, hopefully you can guess, 7. You see how they are across from each other. They have that X formed. Okay, we know vertical angles, I hope you remember, are congruent. So that'd be an example of vertical angles here. A linear pair, once again, there are numerous answers. We're just choosing one. So angle 4, and there'd be 2 options, either 4 and 2 or 4 and 3. So 4 and 2, you see how they are adjacent, meaning they're beside each other, and they're supplementary, meaning they add up to 180. So that's a linear pair. Now alternate interior, we don't have the label. Remember, interior means inside. So 2, 4, 5, and 7. Those are only choices. Alternate means 1 on each side. So we could do angle 2 and angle 7. Okay, now consecutive is the same as same side. Okay, so consecutive interior, still inside. Now for this one, if I do angle 2, it would have to be angle 5. Okay, we got 2 more types. Alternate exterior. Remember, exterior means they are both on the outside. So if you think of it as the parallel lines, it's on the outside. So one's on top, one's on the bottom. So 1, 3, 6, and 8 are our choices. If I do angle 1, then the only option that goes up with that, alternate exterior, remember it has to be on separate sides, but it can't be a linear pair. So angle 1 and angle 8. Okay, now corresponding, this one, it's not interior or exterior, it's going to be one of each. So this, if we do it with angle 1 is going to match up with angle 5. Okay, they're both up to the left, up to the left. Or if you prefer, instead of that one, we could do angle 3 and angle 7. It was up to the right, up to the right. Okay. So go ahead, give this a try. The quick check today is very short. Please give it a try. Also, I know I haven't got the grades up to date. I was kind of waiting to see what would happen with school before I put those in. I will get all of our grades up to date this weekend. If you need any help, please check in with me. If you can't remember your Math Excel password, if you were having trouble on that, if you needed help getting the test done, let me know. Remember, we had that test right before spring break, so please do that if you haven't, and I will get those grades in, and we'll get up to date by next week. Have a great weekend. Bye.